Hi there, my name is Shar. I'm one of the co-founders at Write with Leica, where we're three co-founders together making playful tools for a more creative life. So, who is our tool for? Well, essentially, it's for writers who really like writing and who want to write. So, it's not going to do any of the work for you. It's really there to bounce your ideas back and forth with you, to help you get the most out of your creativity, to find the shape of what you want to create, and help you to bring your most authentic voice out there into the world and share with others. So, how did we even get started? Well, we've been working in video games for a long time, myself and my co-founder Martin. I'm a video game writer. I've been working on things like Divinity Original Sin 2, and I wrote some of the core story for Baldur's Gate 3. Martin has worked on games like Old Man's Journey at Broken Rules, and is also a professor of game design. And over the pandemic, the two of us together started thinking about ways that we could combine procedural generation, artificial intelligence, games writing, and all of these things together. And this is where we're at now, with this lovely little tool that you can use now today for free, where essentially we have like a role-playing game party of characters that you can spend time with, and at the end of that time, maybe you've made a poem, maybe you've written a short story. Who knows where you're going to end up? So I'm going to show you three specific kind of stages of writing that we can look at today, and some of the ways that our companions might be able to help you with those things. So we're going to start where most writing starts, on the blank page. And if you're anything like me, this can be a place that's a little bit scary to hang out in. It's the place where we don't really know what we want to create yet. We just know we want to make something. We want to get something out there into the world. And there's some really great tools we can use before we even get to this stage, like working with the morning pages exercise from The Artist's Way, or even writing to some writing prompts. But what I want to show you now is a few ways that we can use the writer's room here to bounce some ideas back and forth with your own self, your own ideas, see the collective unconscious, and see what you're able to get out of it. So here we can see I've got my blank space here on the left, and I've got my companions on the right. And I'm just going to start out by just writing a line, okay? We're just going to write a line and we're going to go from there. So, the line I've decided to go with is Jimmy. Most of my characters are called Jimmy to begin with. Jimmy knew that going into the underground car park was bad news. Okay, so that's all. We're just going to start with that. And then we're immediately going to see if we can get some bounce back from Alex. So Alex is our companion who can work on giving us some good character details. So let's just take a look at this line, and then we'll ask Alex to craft a character for us. And Alex is going to give us three personality traits for Jimmy. A young man brimming with curiosity and mischief, and see what we can get to there. So Jimmy is resourceful, he embraces change and uncertainty, and he often daydreams about grand adventures and heroic feats, fueling his thirst for exploration. Okay, so he embraces the uncertainty and he thinks it's an opportunity for growth. So we're immediately going to not end the sentence here. And but he was determined to go in anyway. Okay, so he's gonna head in there. We know that's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna ask Alex, like, I'm just gonna see, like, what kind of hobbies does Jimmy have? And see what Alex gives me here. So, reading mystery novels, practicing martial arts, and learning about ancient civilizations. Okay, he's quite an interesting guy. And he dreams of traveling to space. Okay, Jimmy has a lot going on. But maybe one of these things is something that could be a reason why he wanted to go into the underground car park. So we'll just have a little look here. So I'm already kind of tempted by the ancient civilizations. I'm tempted with the technology, because that means he could have some kind of gadget that might be bringing him down there. And maybe something about a game. It could be part of like some sort of live action role playing game or something. But what I'm going to go for is the technology piece. I'm just going to let the other stuff kind of marinate in my head, and we're just going to go with this technology piece and say he had been tracking a mysterious signal for several days, and it led right here. Bip, bip, bip. I think. He crossed the hot tarmac and headed towards, and let's just see, Alex is also good at bouncing back and forth some ideas around locations. So let's just see what Alex has to say about that. Okay, an abandoned underground parking garage. Okay, so now we know it's abandoned. Forgotten vehicles and the whispers of forgotten dreams. A lone business suit, a radio, and a neon sign that closed down decades ago. Okay, I like all of these. So I'm going to actually connect to the radio piece and have him heading towards the entrance, following the tinny strains of long forgotten tunes. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here, we've had a little look at Alex now, is bring your attention up here to where we have pick a brain. And you might be wondering, what is a brain? And this is basically a fine-tuned large language model. So we're able to fine-tune large language models. I'm going to move myself out of the way there. We're able to fine-tune large language models on a writer's own work. And then it will give you suggestions and ideas using your characters, your concepts, and your style. So you can actually head down to the bottom here anytime and train a new brain. And it'll bring you straight here. All you need to do is upload a .txt or .docx file, and it's basically about 10,000 words. If you don't have that there, but you've been writing in here, it'll use what you've written inside the document. It'll take about 5 minutes to train that, and then we'll have it forever. So we're going to use it now in order to try out getting a little idea about what might happen here next. So I think this is looking like it's going to be a little bit of a spooky story. So I'm going to take something a little bit spooky, like Frankenstein, and see what happens next. So then we're going to get some suggestions that come through. So this part is about, he has a guitar playing a song and a multitude of its kind arose. Okay, that's quite spooky. Every time we try inferences, we're going to get 3. So let's try an alternate. Okay, he has an unfortunate victim here. Or the sky became clouded. So I'm going to keep this one, but I'm going to remove the parts that don't make sense for me, like the village. And I'm just going to make it into this. The sky became clouded. I'll also make it cloudy. It became cloudy, cloudier as he approached, darkening above him, so that he could soon see the brightness of a neon sign deep within the car park. Okay, I'm bringing back in that neon sign because I think that's going to be an idea about something that we can do there. So we started with nothing, and now we have Jimmy and his car park, and we know there's something there. There's a signal, and he's following it in there, and I wonder what it's going to be. And I'm just going to ask, actually. I'm going to ask, who's a good person to ask? I'm going to ask Lotus. I'm going to say, hey Lotus, what do you think will be at the end of the mysterious signal? Maybe a revelation about his own past. Okay, but but concretely, what item do you think it will be? So the way I'm working is like, I don't necessarily take what's given, but I'm bouncing back and forth with the various pieces that are being given to me and picking the things I like a magpie, and then bouncing those back and forth into my text. Okay, important piece of technology, someone who has information. Okay, but I like what you're saying here, Lotus, that the object doesn't matter as much as the journey and the discovery itself. And then a mysterious little emoji of a timer, a sand timer. So it's going to be something to do with time and technology here for me. Okay. Jimmy entered the car park. Okay, so the one more thing I want to do here, because we're getting into the territory now where we could actually just start writing and going and figuring things out. Like, I'm feeling already inspired and ready to just myself just delve in and start figuring out what's in this car park and what we have to say. But before we do, I want to try one more thing with my friend Kevin, who is the poet and occultist. And Kevin has a special talent where he'll draw a tarot card at random, completely at random, and then apply the meaning to the text that we have. So I just want to see what kind of interesting thing Kevin might have for us for this. So Kevin draws the Four of Swords. He says, peace and quiet amidst the turmoil. And Jimmy is entering the car park seeking refuge from his troubles. Despite the ongoing chaos, there might be moments of respite and opportunities for healing. Interesting. So it's getting the feeling that although this is maybe the horror story that I dream of, it is something spooky. At the end of the day, perhaps, it is going to work out okay for Jimmy. Okay, so that's the idea, how we can start going with the blank page, bouncing back and forth with the companions, with their abilities, with just chatting to them, and even with like adding in some bits and pieces from other fine-tuned brains. So stay tuned, and we will have another look next at what we can do when we already have a bunch of work written. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at a few things we can do when we're right in the thick of writing. We've got a bunch of stuff here, we've got a lot of words, and we want to start shaping them around like clay. We want to start getting a real feel for it. So here I have on in my working area, I have a lot of text that I've been writing about for a fantasy novel. So I'm going to try a few little tricks with the companions and see what kind of interesting improvements and ideas we can get there. So first off, I'm going to go and have a little chat with my friend Ichigo. So Ichi, he's kind of a critic. He's a bit of a stickler, to be honest. But he's usually very good at figuring out a lot of things. So I'm going to see what Ichi can do to summarize the work that I have here, so that you guys even know what it is that's going on. So here we go. In this dystopian world where time serves as currency, Malara faces an uncertain fate when her friend suddenly vanishes from their labour position within the oppressive watchbreaker's factory. As a perfect summary, Ichi, thank you so much. Perfect. Thanks. So that's really exactly what I need. Yeah, his main goal is to catch things. So yeah, thanks, Ichi. Okay, so now that we know what we're actually dealing with, I'm going to ask Lotus to find my theme. So when I ask Lotus to find my theme using this button, what she's going to do is she's going to basically read all the content, consider what the theme is, and then think about ways in which we can bring that theme to the fore more. So here she's saying that our central theme is survival amidst hardship, which is very good, very strong. And to further develop this idea, maybe we should consider exploring how Malara and others cope with the daily struggles they face. Yeah. And what role does the mystery behind the Teodes play in the overall struggle? So the Teodes are, in my fantasy book, the kind of crystallized time. So this is a whole concept from my book that Lotus is bringing in and playing with already. So perfect, Lotus. And exactly, we should be thinking about the mystery that the Teodes play in this struggle. So those are some two nice little pointers to send me on the right direction with what I want to do next in terms of like bringing more stuff into the text, bringing more ideas in. Some more things you might consider is having a little look at Donna. So Donna is able to have a look at whether our text works for diverse audiences. She's got a kind of a sensitivity reader vibe. So let's just see if Donna has any pointers for us here and anything we could change. So no major issues that would offend readers or create negative stereotypes. Okay, wonderful. Keep it up. I will. Thanks, Donna. So then maybe what we also can do is like we can chat back and forth about all kinds of things. So let's have a look and see, for example, let's just take an example of like one line. So we just highlight a line and then we can just chat to Ichi about it. So let's see. Ichi. I think this line is a little clunky. And I'd like some help refining it. What do you think? And let's see what Ichigo thinks. Okay, so this is the line. Sorry, Ichi. Okay, so in just a few days, the oily waters threaten to rise above the second floor, flooding the narrow walkways connecting tightly packed steel structures. So I actually really like the first part of it, but I prefer my second part. So I think I would like to take this piece here. And I'll pop that in. In just a few days, the oily waters threaten to rise above the second floor. Yep. Flooding over the walkways. Yeah, because I like the hanging walkways and the close packed stilted buildings. So yeah, okay. Perfect. So now I've got a little bit of an edit in there as well. And I'm ready to keep going, working on what Lotus has told me about the themes to develop a little bit more there. And that'll keep me going for a while. Okay, so the next stage is when we have a full draft of something and we want to get it ready and spruced up to head out into the world. So what I have here is a piece that I wrote about my great uncle Joe O'Rourke, who was a hero of the Irish Revolution in the Easter Rising. And I am wanting just a little bit more confidence and a little bit more, sprinkle before I feel like I'm ready to publish it and send it out into the world. So I'm going to have a little look at a few things and just see how it is. So first off, I'm just going to have a look at everything and ask Lotus how it's going to resonate with readers. Like what's going to happen in the heart and what do we need to bring out more? So it's going to be impactful for readers who are interested in family stories, Irish history and personal reflections. And people who are considering ways to promote peace and justice in their own communities. Okay, nice. So then one way to enhance the impact might be to include specific examples of how your family experiences relate to current social issues, thus creating stronger connections between past events and present day realities. Okay, I really like that, Lotus, because this whole piece is very much like in the past. I would love to bring in some pieces about how that connects to today and this modern world and how we can do about in the modern world around that as well. So, okay, love that. Thank you so much. Another thing we can... Oh, thank you, Lotus. Thank you, Lotus. I always like to say thank you. And then Kevin has a nice little ability as well, where if we ask him who are my fellow travellers, Kevin's going to read the work and then he's going to suggest someone who might be a similar kind of writer to us. Now, it's often something very heartwarming, like, for example, oh, have I ever heard of James Joyce's novel Ulysses? I have actually, Kevin. So this is very, very nice. Okay, so it's giving me that little pat on the back of confidence that when Kevin reads this text, the thing he's most reminded of is Joyce's Ulysses. I will take it. If we have a little look at Ichi, we can ask Ichi for a little bit of a hand with figuring out if any of these pieces need a bit more work, need a little bit of judging around. So I'm going to just take a little look here. I'm going to ask Ichi to critique just this little piece and let's see what he has to say. Okay, the imagery is vivid and transporting, but the sentence structure could benefit from refining, especially the unnecessary comma usage. I don't disagree with you there, Ichi. Despite being a professional writer myself, I have never had a great grasp on the comma. So yes, revise comma placement. Okay, great, I will. That is something I can absolutely do. I know the rules, I just don't apply them all the time. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just when I'm feeling like, okay, everything here is the way I want it to be. Let's see, I'm just going to ask Donna, because I kind of trust Donna on this kind of thing, and say, Donna, I want to publish this piece. Is it ready? In your opinion? And Donna says, narrative is strong, but the sentence structure needs variation to avoid monotony. And consider removing the phrase, those content to. Okay. So Donna has given me very, very specific and explicit instructions on things that I can do to make this better before we send it out into the world. So I'm going to head off and do that. and then publish something. So I hope this has been a good overview for you of how the writer's room works, how it can work for you across 3 separate phases of writing. And if you ever have any need for any help, you can always send me an email at hello@writewithleica.com. I'm very, very happy to assist anytime. And if you'd like to try it out, just head to writewithleica.com and head over to that little button up in the corner, writer's room, and you can hop on in for free, try it out, see what you think. If you like it, you can sign up with a subscription. And any questions, just let me know, and happy writing out there.